Imagine this. Every single week, 4,000 young women around the world contract HIV. And out of that number, 3,000 are from Sub-Saharan Africa alone. Now, stop for a moment and let that sink in. We are living in a generation where too many young women are chasing the illusion of soft life without the discipline, the patience, or the effort it takes to build a real future. A generation where quick money feels more attractive than long-term stability, and where dangerous choices are packaged as either hustle or survival. Today, it has become normal for teenage girls and young women to sleep with multiple men for luxury, for vacation, for the latest phone, or even simply for online aesthetics. They meet men who genuinely care about them, men who want to build something real, but they walk away simply because someone else is offering them something bigger, either a bigger allowance, a nicer trip, or a shinier gift. What used to be considered as self-destruction is now glamorized as a lifestyle. And before anyone rushes to blame poverty or lack of awareness, let's be honest, this is not always about lack. This is not always about ignorance. Many times, it is all about choice, hard, dangerous, reckless choice. These girls knows the risk, they knows the story, they know what they are doing. In fact, some of them even know that the men they are sleeping with are openly HIV positive. Yet, they still go ahead because the reward feels bigger than the risk. Until the consequences arrive, and then suddenly the narrative changes around. The narrative you begin to hear will change to either men are wicked, men are the problem, men used me, and all these kinds of narrative will be flying around. But the truth is painful, and the truth is just very, very simple. Action and our choices have consequences. We've crossed into an era where shame no longer exists, where self-worth is being traded for likes, for attention, for luxury, for validation, where young women boldly comes online to market themselves as if their bodies are commodities. And yet, every single week, 3,000 young African women contract HIV. 3,000 every single week. If that doesn't shock you, I don't know what else will. Then something is deeply wrong.
The World Health Organization warns of an increase in new HIV infections in African adolescents. At the WHO Africa meeting going on in Ethiopia, the agency has asked African governments to ensure that they allow adolescents access to all types of health services at their local health centers.
We've just been talking to the ministers of health in the regional committee, and they are also acknowledging that we have not found innovative ways of reaching adolescents where they are. I mean, if I go to a family plan, to a health center, myself and my adolescent child, she's not going to get those services.
AIDS is now the leading cause of death among adolescents.
I think it's a combination of factors. Young people think they're invincible. They don't realize that the same things that affect adults affect them, number one. Number two, sometimes their first sexual contact is an unprepared contact. So they are not protecting themselves, that first sexual debut.
We are losing a generation, not because of lack of opportunity, not because of any other thing, no excuses at all, but because of the absence of self-control, the absence of discipline, the absence of value, and the absence of dignity. This isn't an attack on women. This is just a wake-up call to all women. We must start teaching self-respect again. We must start teaching self-worth again. We must bring back conversation about boundaries, consequences, and responsibility. Because if we keep heading down this road, if 3,000 young women keep contracting HIV every week, then we have just lost a huge thing. And we haven't just lost our values, we have lost even our future, our generation, and even the generations to come. So the wake-up call is that something needs to change. In fact, something must change, and that thing that must change now. It is so urgent.